This is Travis Tripp with HP, and I'm here today to talk about the new Launch Instance Wizard beta that is available in the Kilo release of the OpenStack Horizon dashboard. This wizard is a major move towards AngularJS usage in Horizon, and we will continue working on it throughout Liberty. In my current environment, I have both the old one and the new one enabled, something easy to do in the settings file. To start with, let's take a look at the old one. One of the things with the old one that we really wanted to address was the fact that it's kind of difficult to really compare different flavors, really to get rich information about them, and a little bit more difficult to actually find and choose your different items based off of sort criteria or filtering criteria. Again, in access and security, very similar. You don't have a lot of information for your security groups. And again, in networking, you're really just given a name and not much else to go on. In the new Launch Instance Wizard, we really wanted to make this something that can guide users throughout the process. And this starts with the new integrated help system. So on any given step, you simply can expand out your help system, get rich details, and really learn as you use the system. So if we launch a new instance, just give it a quick demo name. Look, we can still select the boot source. You know, we can still say we want to create a new volume, do things like that. And then down in the available images, we now have the ability to sort various columns. We have the available filtering. So if I type in stack, you see here's the images that happen to have stack in them. And then if we want even more information, we simply click this, we expand it out, and we're giving more information about the metadata that's on that particular image. So if we select that one, you'll see we instantly get a responsive UI that says, hey, you now need to select a larger volume size. And that's because your image does not requires more volume space. So if we can do that, correct that error, or we can simply not create a volume. Up here, our charting is live and dynamic, so as we increase the number of instances, you'll see that it affects our quota count. We get real-time error messaging about what the problem is. And if we correct that, we'll just jump on to the flavor step. In the flavors, you'll see now you can easily search and sort. So if I want to sort by the number of vCPUs I can sort by the RAM. And when we look at this, you'll also notice that we're giving you error messaging about why certain flavors may or may not be selected and tell you how you can change your options to make that flavor selectable. So for example, in this one, we're making it obvious to you that your image source requires the flavor with at least 512 megs of RAM, and you could select a flavor with more RAM or just use a different image source. So if we want to go ahead and say, no, find something that has 512, you'll see that we have a couple of options. And in here, these options have the same level of details. I mean, they both seem to have 512 megs of RAM and 3 gigabytes of disk. So what's really different about those? Well, it's easy to take a look now. For one, we can see the quota impact, which in this case is going to be similar. And we get more metadata information that really can help you make a decision. So in this case, you see here, this thing has certain virtual CPU topology. This one, meanwhile, has some extra compute host capabilities or something called trusted compute pools. So we've really provided a lot of rich information there. And you can easily select the flavor that you actually want. Moving on with networks, you can see that we can easily add networks. We can determine which ones we want using extra information. We can reorder the NICs. So say we want to go with these two, this would put the private network on NIC 1 and the public network on NIC 2. We can also go ahead and launch the instance right now. We've finished the amount of information that's required to actually launch. The button's available and we can go ahead and launch straight from here. If we want to do additional things like change our security group, like maybe the default one doesn't work for us, we can come down here and say, well, what are these other ones? And right here in line, I'm able to see this security group has these access rules showing me the ports and everything that I would need to make a decision on the correct security group to use. We can add them and remove them. For key pairs, we can always select one, or if we wanted, we could import one and create a new key pair as well. For customization, we can easily choose a new cloud init script to launch. And in this case, you'll see that it comes directly in line. If we want to edit it, we can do what we want. We can set some Nova extension options, and we can click the launch instance button. So this iteration of the launch instance wizard is available for you to use. You can enable it simply by going to the local settings. There's a couple of items here. You'll find it in the sample settings. And what we're looking for right now is particularly input and feedback on how well it works in your environment, and also just looking at it, see if there's any bugs or anything else that you'd like to file on. We'll be continuing to revise this and improve both some usability aspects as well as performance aspects moving forward, although right now we expect this to have better performance than the old launch instance wizard. We look forward to seeing you at the summit, and thank you very much.